What's going on? Welcome back to yet another normal baseball podcast. Today we got a special guest. Let's just get right into it. What's going on? Welcome back to yet another normal baseball podcast. I'm Alex, Normal Dog. That's Lewis. And today we have a special guest. We got Josh, the founder of Baseball Lifestyle 101, 683 followers on Instagram, a multi-million-dollar clothing brand. What's going on? It's great to have you.
So much, man. Thank you. I'm excited to be on here. Just finishing up my day, so it's been a good day, and excited to talk some baseball, man.
It's good,
Wonderful.
good. You want to tell us a little bit about, I guess the beginning, how did this all start for you, and how'd you know you wanted to get into all this? How'd this all come to be?
Yeah, so it's almost actually 9 years to the date. It was like March 21st, 2013. I launched the Instagram account. I was a sophomore in high school. Just like you guys, man, love the game of baseball. So I just wanted to put out content. And at the time, Instagram was, a brand new platform or a newish platform, kind of how TikTok is right now. And just started posting and, never thought it would be where it's at now, but just posted baseball content every day, 12 times a day for years. And that's really kind of just how it started. But I saw a lot of other pages doing it on Twitter, and I wanted to kind of put my content out there that I wanted to see over on Instagram, and there really wasn't a lot out there. So, but yeah, dude, almost 9 years ago, it's going to be 9 years in like 2 weeks. So it's pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That's an insane start. Especially you said posting 12 times a day, finding that content. What were you kind of doing to find all that stuff?
A lot of it was submitted. A lot of it was just curated, kind of how it is today. I have, now it's a lot easier because I know a lot of the content creators, and it's a lot easier to kind of curate content and put things out there now because it's so much more available. But then it was kind of just seeing whatever was out there on Twitter and kind of putting it out on Instagram, and then creating some of it myself, getting some of it submitted through direct message. I mean, it was a lot, easier, and it was a lot simpler with some of the stuff, but just really finding it wherever I could and creating it whenever I could.
Yeah, well, that's impressive, especially
Very.
especially being in school and still, especially just high school. College might be a little different, but being in high school and doing all that, it's got to be really tough. I'm trying my best at it as well. And do it. Let me tell you, doing it in school is not the easiest thing to do.
No, I got yelled at plenty of times, but listen, I mean, I would, as long as you know what you're doing is not slacking off, and what you're doing is actually has a purpose for yourself, and it's you'll be okay, But I had plenty of arguments with teachers, and I would just tell them that I was working.
Exactly.
And probably wasn't the most nice thing to say back, but I mean, truly in my head, I was working, right? And now it's obviously worked out. So, just consistency and time is the biggest factors for anything.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, doesn't just because it's not their form of work doesn't mean it's not working.
Absolutely.
Gotta start somehow.
Time out. Before we continue,
yeah.
what are we all rocking today? Right? This is the
Something
segment.
tells me we're all wearing the same brand.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, what we got, Alex and I think we're both wearing the Legacy hoodies, right?
Yep.
Of course.
Josh rocking the
I got
ever
my
so stylish off-season hoodie. Oh
Love
my
that
god.
Got my Triston McKenzie hat on. We got everything going.
Oh, it's perfect. It's
yeah,
perfect.
well, I'm also wearing the shirt that's similar color to this.
Love it.
Yeah, the TM collection, that was incredible. We ordered it. We haven't gotten it yet, but I'm assuming that's just because
Supply chain
basically-
issues.
Yeah.
Supply chain issues. No, everything was kind of made to order with that one because we didn't know how crazy it would do. So it's all starting to come in now. So that's just good.
Yeah, I mean
It's wonderful.
that's incredible. But before we get to that, I mean, starting out, you weren't planning on being a clothing brand. You just kind of planned on baseball content. How did it kind of evolve into being clothing and merchandise and all that?
Yeah, I mean, I did kind of always want a clothing brand per se, because there was other brands. There was a couple other people that I was wearing at the time, and I always wanted to kind of. I guess I saw a lot of things out there, and I wanted to make it my own and what I wanted to wear. So I did want to make it a clothing brand, but when I was at like 5,000 followers, when I met Bill, who's now my business partner, who then was my strength and conditioning coach. And I kind of was putting flyers up around the gym, and I talked to him about kind of like, what I want to do with it. He went to school for marketing. So he had said that, you can't really sell a lot of clothes with just 5,000 followers. Like he started breaking down conversion rates and all the like the fun math things that, now I deal with daily. But for example, if 1% of your customers were to buy it, it's not a lot of people, right? So he was like, build a community first, build an audience, build somewhere that people want to connect, and then you could sell whatever you want to them after. So originally, I was just kind of doing advertising for other brands and making money that way. And then in the long term, I knew that I wanted to have my own clothing. So I used kind of the Instagram as a test for other brands to see how well it would perform with their stuff. And then eventually knew that I would launch my own brand for baseball lifestyle and just kind of curate all the things I was selling on my Instagram and put them on my site, like the jewelry and things like that. And then just kind of go from there. But that's kind of how it all like came together.
Yeah, wow. Did that?
It was years. It was years. I started the Instagram in 2013, and the clothing didn't. I mean, it was officially like launched August of 2016, but really didn't like do much until 2017. So it was 4 years of posting and building an audience, and 250,000 followers later before I decided to really go into the clothing full time.
Right.
Now, was that like a big jump, or did you sort of did you have that in mind when you hit that like 250,000 follower goal, and you were like you wanted that in your long run? Did you think that that was going to be your mark, or did you just kind of make that bang bang decision of, you know what, I'm going to shoot my shot now?
I think it just everything kind of happens for a reason, right? So like I think I had gotten like 20 or 30 free hats from Richardson with my logo on it in exchange for like a post, and they allowed me to obviously sell them. So I think that was like before even the website launched. That was like probably like 6 months prior, and I just set up like a janky website and took money through PayPal, and we sold the hats out like very quick, and we did it like 4 or 5 times with different styles. So I was like, people want to buy things with the logo on it. And that's when I decided to kind of take the full jump into the website space. In the 2016, I got everything LLC'd. I got the website launched. Got the thing that's hanging above me, the trademark, all that stuff over there. So that was kind of when it officially took off.
Wow. And when you started, like, in shipping stuff out, how'd you like do that? If you want to explain how you did that, because it's pretty impressive.
Well, I mean, I think we all three of us know about the iconic picture of Josh's original setup in his basement. We'll post that somewhere if you don't mind. Yeah, there it is.
There
It's the phone background.
It's gotta be.
Always gotta remind yourself where you came from, right? So I was shipping everything out of my parents' basement. I had like a little corner in the basement that I was like literally the size of what's behind me, right? Like it was that stacked up. I was like, oh, this is so nice. Everything was like OCD placed. Then I had like another. Then it grew to like another shelf, and I would ship stuff out. I would ship stuff out off my pool table. I would print the actual like labels are supposed to be printed through a label printer. I would print the labels on the actual printer, cut them out, and then it was like giant labels. And I would just tape them on and then put them on. So like that's how it all started. My dad would help me pack, and then it went from the basement to the back of Billy's gym. Then from the back of Billy's gym, it went from there to like a warehouse distribution center in New Jersey of a friend, and then like went back to whatever. And then I finally got like our first warehouse. But yeah, it started in my parents' basement for like 2017 roughly.
Yeah, wow. That's a long journey. Can only imagine sitting in. How was that like if you brought orders to like a post office or whatever? Is that how you did that? Like when you were just out of the parents' basement?
Yeah, I would bring stuff to the post office, and then once I had like a certain volume per day, I like would talk to the post service. They would do pickups at the house.
Right.
So like I would just leave it outside, or when I'd hear them come, I would just leave it for them. But I think most of the time I was dropping it off, and then when I was at Bill's gym, I think they had local pickups anyway from USPS, so I would just do it like that. I don't honestly, I don't remember that much. I do remember leaving stuff in my front doorstep and having conversations with the mailman, and like I didn't know how many packages a day I'd have to qualify for them to pick it up. But I think that's kind of what I did. And then I had a post office right around the corner for me, so I think I would just go drop stuff off there.
Oh yeah, it's pretty convenient.
Some stuff is very like solid memory for me, and some stuff's kind of like I have no idea. I don't really remember.
Yeah,
Because the new way is probably easier.
the new way is just right
Oh
out of the
yeah,
warehouse.
I have a label. I have a label printer, and I have scheduled pickups every day at 4 o'clock. So it's very different.
Does
The
everything
luxury.
does everything go out of the warehouse now, or are there other distribution places?
Everything goes out of the warehouse. I keep everything in house here, so everything comes out of here.
Wow, it's a lot of product, though,
And,
yeah.
and
especially to manage. And you make some of the shirts at the warehouse too, right?
So we do some of the stuff in house. We do some of the stuff locally. Some of the stuff in Cali. Some of the stuff overseas. There's a lot of different vendors, a lot of different people that kind of do different things, but you kind of need to have that.
Yeah, wow.
obviously, with you first starting like by yourself, basically with your parents and everything, now you've grown, dare I say, like an empire that's ever growing at this point. How'd you find out with new employees? Because from what we see every day with all your social media, it seems like everybody is just friends more than employees to you.
Yeah, it's definitely like, which is really cool. It's a very big like family here. So the first employee was really Melissa. Melissa is our marketing director, and she is married to Bill. But at the time, she was Bill's girlfriend when I had met her. She was working in social media for a nonprofit, and she basically quit her job for way less money to work for a 19-year-old kid.
Wow.
And she was in 2017. It was just me and her. And then the other Josh, he went to college to play baseball. So he didn't come onto the business until 2 years after playing college ball. He came back home and decided to start helping out while going to college. And then he came on full time. And then we've had some like other filler people that were just helping the pack orders because I couldn't do them, anymore. And then I had another employee, this guy Kyle. Kyle was our other videographer. Excuse me, our first videographer who I met through Instagram from Oregon, and we connected through Instagram and became best, like really close friends. And he doesn't no longer work for us. Nothing bad there. It's hard with somebody all the way out in Oregon to manage day to day around here. And then Bill came on full time as a owner in 2018, and Dennis was like the latest hire in 2019. But it's a big family. Dennis is probably the only one that's like, he was a friend of a friend, but he's now family. So like, it's a very tight knit group. We have other people that do stuff that are freelance working with designers and all those people, but like we're close with every single one of them.
Wow.
Perfect.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
So like when you were obviously 18, 19 or in the early days and you started to see like gaining like mass following, like what do you remember, like what you were like thinking? Like do you remember thinking like this is like kind of surrealish?
I definitely remember hitting 10,000 followers. I was in my basement playing Call of Duty, and I was kept refreshing my phone, and I remember hitting 10K. That's for sure. The other milestones like 100K and all of that, I don't vividly remember those. I think I hit 100K when I was a freshman in college, and then I remember hitting 500K. Of course, that was March 2018. And at that point, we had had the clothing, we had all that stuff, and I remember being in my apartment and celebrating those gold cleats right there are kind of the tribute to those followers and all that stuff. So 500K for sure, I remember hitting, but those are the few of the milestones. But to be honest with you, like, it became sort of just like a standard thing. You had like those big milestones and you hit them that were cool. But after like 250, then it was 500. And now after 500, really it's a million, right? Like everything else is like, all right, cool. We're gaining 2,000-3,000 followers a week. And, but yeah, I mean, didn't really like hit me too crazy. I would say 10K, I was the most hyped.
Right, because you were still a kid and playing Call of Duty on your free time, and
Yeah.
The launch pad, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 10K was a huge deal when Instagram first started because once you kind of hit 10,000 followers back then, Instagram really pushed you, like really pushed you because like you had established a community now, and for some reason it's very different now than it was. But what's actually interesting is recency. I would say I used to have a goal of gaining 250 followers a day. That was like my goal, and I would do whatever I'd do to get to that in the goal. And now, like recently, we gained way more than that just because of like I don't know how
You're
big we
just
are and
yeah.
how Instagram's working again. Like you post Instagram reels and you're just gaining followers. So like Instagram goes through cycles. There's been cycles where we're dead. Like if you think about it, we hit 500K in 2018. It's 2022, and we're at 683. So it took me what 5 years to get to 500K, and it's taken me what 4 years to only gain an extra 183K. Right. So like and obviously as you get bigger, baseball is a smaller sport, so there's not as many followers. But yeah, it's definitely interesting how all that stuff works.
Yeah, it seems like you figured it out pretty well, and you kind of
Learn
know
the
how it all
algorithm.
works and the algorithms and all that.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, you still have no idea. I mean, you were talking about it before, right? Like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
so very different. It's super weird. But like now, it's all about different platforms. Like, I want to make sure that TikTok is what Instagram was for us, right? So we have 150K on TikTok, and there's no other baseball clothing brand on TikTok. So we're the biggest thing that's there. But I want to get TikTok to be bigger than Instagram, so that way Instagram, God forbid, it doesn't matter, right? Because now our TikTok has 600K. So that's kind of my next goal is to grow that platform bigger than Instagram, so that way that Instagram is just it's the little brother now, you
it's
know?
kind of there. It's just kind of there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean the TikTok. I mean, from what it seems like, is the algorithm and like how it works. Kind of it pushes out to more people, and it's like easier to kind of get out to more people. That's just kind of what it seems like. Um,
yeah. I mean,
as
good
long as you're
content
making
has
good
to get pushed
content.
out to good content. Yeah, good content's got to get out there. But what's good with TikTok is, it's all your actual like. While Instagram's a lot of curated, we're making all of our own TikTok content, so it's
Right.
all branded. It's all us. So if you follow us, you like us. If you liked our Instagram, maybe you just like the content, but you didn't really care about us, right? You didn't care about the merch. Well, now on TikTok, our 150,000 followers, like are very dedicated. So like for example, like we announced our clothing that was available nationwide, right, with Shields, and the place that it did the worst was Instagram. And I was excited about that. I was happy about that because like our people on Facebook, the parents were super stoked. Our people on TikTok, super stoked. People on Instagram are like, yeah, I've seen you guys for so many years and like whatever, whatever. It's just different, right? Like
Right.
a lot more people comment on TikTok. A lot more people share on TikTok. On Instagram,
Right.
it is like and scroll, like and scroll. Like it's old, it's established, it's been around. So I'm all about hopping on the new thing of the new platform.
Yeah, that's the big thing with TikTok. People never hesitate to run to the comments and say something or even share or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It
Absolutely.
yeah, because
The beauty of
on any given
social
day,
media.
yeah, on any given day you can see anyone pop up. So that's it's kind of crazy. And then getting to like further in down the line. I mean, like not too long ago, you signed like your first major athlete to the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, tell us about that, Triston McKenzie,
Yeah.
if you wanna.
Yeah. So that's been a cool experience for us. Again, we wanted to take the next step with the brand and kind of take the next level of where we were and showcase that hey, we're legit, we're here, we got guys that support us because a lot of big league guys wear our stuff, but nobody was necessarily like the face of the brand. So I'm very close with Tristan's agent, and he had reached out, and Tristan was the perfect guy. Tristan plays for the Cleveland Guardians, and he's just got he's a rookie. His last year was his full real year, but he has a good following on Instagram. He's got like 77,000 followers, but he's in the fashion, he's into social media, so it just made sense from our brand standpoint. Like you guys know how it is, like Mike Trout doesn't care about Instagram.
No,
Mike Trout doesn't care about his brand, right? So is having Mike Trout sign to your brand cool? Sure, but like, is he cool or is he just the greatest baseball player? He's just a great baseball player. Tristan's actually just cool for being cool, you
yeah,
know.
you want a guy with
So that's why.
personality.
So that's why we decided to sign him, and it was a really good experience. It's been really cool. We did obviously a clothing collection with him that was designed by him, and all of that's been awesome. It's just another step to test things out and see where it takes us, and see how much that changes the business.
Yeah, wow. I mean,
Do
especially
you want to go?
especially a young guy like that, it's kind of incredible to just even get that much. I want to say insight, kind of, to
Right.
someone that high caliber.
Yep,
He's going for
100%.
his Rolex this season. That's what he's
Yes, he
playing
is.
for.
That'll be
He is.
exciting.
Think he'll get it? Well, I mean, I feel like
Might.
I think he will.
I bet
If
you
he
will.
listen, I told him I want one. If he gets one, I get one. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
That's a pretty big commitment.
Paying for
him.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to try to. I don't remember the exact ERA. What was the exact ERA? It's a great question.
I think it was sub 3.4, right?
I don't even know.
Yeah, it was something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Something he's more than capable of getting. We'll say that.
Absolutely.
I mean-
absolutely.
We know he's playing for something.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And then also, Lewis, did you have a question? Or
Yeah. So we did touch on like the earlier part of your brand and how you brought it up, and I think one of the biggest things that stands out to me as such a big fan of what you have built is you being able to go to the AllStar Game and watching not only the brand but yourself and all of your people get that behind the stage sort of access and getting to talk to people. And we listen to the Grounds Crew, which is your baseball lifestyle podcast. We listen to that and hearing you guys talk to these just legends. What was like that like? Obviously, your sales were a great part of the business, but I can imagine that that is just up there.
Yeah, I mean, content's a big part of what we do still. But the All-Star Game was crazy. I mean, that's every kid's dream, is to play in it or be there or whatever it was. So, for myself to have the access that I did, which was full access to anything I wanted to do, I was on the field during BP. I was really wherever I wanted to be, where I wanted to be, when I wanted to be. That was super cool, man. That was one of the, like, there's probably, there's 3 moments I could think of in my head, 4 moments I could think of in my head that are the biggest moments of BL, which would be, Omaha 2018, first time seeing how much in person, how our offline translated to our online, or sorry, our online translated to in person, and how kids were obsessed with it. And I would say, when we hit our first $1 million in sales in 2018, I would say going to Shields recently and seeing our product in person on shelves for the first time, and then All-Star Games right there with it. So like I was like this close from Aaron Judge. I was this close from anybody, Otani, like whoever you want to think of, we were there, right? So that was a super cool experience. I got to interview different players. Gerson and Bill got to sit down with legends and interview them for the podcast, and guys like Hunter Pence and all of the guys. Like, there's so many legends. So that was a super amazing experience. Hopefully we get to do it again this year. But yeah, that was definitely up there as one of the coolest moments of my life.
yeah, it's something not many people get to do. Stand on the field
No.
and do whatever they want at an All-Star game. That seems surreal.
Like you said,
Yeah.
that's probably everybody's dream.
Yeah, and it's so, unfortunately, and not this in a bad way, but it's become sort of like normal for me, like to go on a baseball field and stand there during BP and hang out with guys, right? It's like I don't go there, I don't freak out. These guys are just other guys. There's only a few players that you're kind of like, oh, that's Otani, or like, oh, that's Harper, right? Like, or that's Trout. Like, it gets a little different, but baseball players are just baseball players, right? So like, it's just kind of just cool to still be a part of it and be there and be on the field. But yeah, I mean, that experience was different though. I was that stepping on the field for the first time, being there for BP, and like being on TV because it wasn't showing BP because I'm literally right behind the turtle,
Right.
like with my phone like this, was just a really cool experience.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Lewis, got anything?
I mean, I could keep riffing on just like that mindset of, obviously, like you said, you have a like we said, you have a huge empire that you've built, or all centered around baseball. And in my head, and from kids that I talk to, sometimes your content is the reason why they get into baseball and why they like decide that baseball is interesting and it seems fun and stuff. Do you think that like you have more of an impact on the community than just a face value of providing content?
Oh yeah, I honestly say that like for a lot of kids, baseball lifestyle is what ESPN was to us growing up, right? So like me really growing up, like you guys are a little younger than me, not much, but I'm just saying like there was no Instagram. I would watch ESPN to see my baseball, right? I end up sounding old. But like to the younger kids that have been following us for 9 years, they grew up watching our Instagram as more or less a channel for them to consume baseball. So that channel is everything for them for the longest time. And if it disappeared, people would be like, where's this thing? There's a lot of that stuff out there now. A lot of people just, take the same content or post similar things. But there's a reason why, we sell millions of dollars worth a year of clothing and I have a brand. While there's just a lot of accounts that you just follow because it's just memes and baseball stats and it doesn't matter, right? There's no person, there's no brand, there's no community behind it, right? So for every baseball lifestyle, for every John Boy, there's 30 Instagram accounts that if they went away tomorrow, you wouldn't even notice it. But for us, we've actually been able to make an impact on kids that I think that lasts for their whole life
Right.
and
Yeah.
change the game, frankly, make the game fun, right? Like make the game a place that people want to watch. Like you said, keep kids that want to play, keep kids that, aren't playing anymore, keep them in the lifestyle, right? Like if Major League Baseball doesn't happen in the first month, we're going to make sure we do everything possible to entertain kids. That's what we did during COVID. And that's the same thing we're going to do now. We're going to go on live. We're going to go do tournaments. We're going to post more. We're going to do whatever we have to do so we keep baseball, the lifestyle of baseball going.
Right. And obviously, there's the brand right there. I mean, it's was I
He's lost
completely
his
lost my
words.
train of thought.
And I mean, obviously, like you said, you can do it all when it comes to baseball and content and production and stuff like that. Do you like? Would you say that obviously there's more room to grow, but there's no ceiling in your field. It can just keep on going forever and ever. And obviously, the bigger you get, is there anything more that you want to accomplish as you get bigger?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very new industry in terms of like the baseball, like literally the baseball lifestyle apparel side of things. Like the only other people that are in our space is baseballism, and they've been around for much longer than we have. But the baseball apparel side of things is so brand new. Like it's not been established, right? You look at like surfing and skating and those kind of brands, they've been around forever. They've been established, right? Hurley, RVCA, Supreme, they've been around since the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, and that's that culture. Well, what is baseball lifestyle apparel culture going to look like in 30 years? I have no idea. And the original two people are us and baseballism, right? So like the more that they grow, the more that we grow, we help push the industry forward. But I mean, looking forward on it, get more into retail, right? We're in Shields. How do we get into, Dick's Sporting Goods and stuff near us that are here on New York? How do we open up a retail store in, certain locations and certain areas that make sense for us? And just kind of dream big and continue to go bigger with the content. How do we continue to do stuff with MLB PA and those people over there and push the game, push the players, and just change the game and grow TikTok and whatever the next platform is. There's so many opportunities to do things. I feel like we're just still scratching the surface. And if 4 years ago is when this whole thing really started on selling things, and we've gone a long way in 4 years. And in the micro times of when you're doing stuff daily, it feels like things are going slow. It feels like things are like not growing crazy. But when you zoom out over 4 years, when I zoom out over 9 years, it's a big difference. So what does the next 9 to 10 years look like? I have no idea.
I mean, in my head, I can only see it getting bigger, as I would hope everybody else can. It's a beautiful product.
An exponential graph kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just shoot
I mean,
up.
listen, everything right daily looks like this, right? You go this way, you go this way, this way.
Mhm.
But if you zoom out, it does look like that. But it's not just this, right? Like us getting into in-person stores for the first time, people are gonna be like, "Wow, you guys blew up overnight." And it's like,
Not
No.
really. Yeah.
I've been posting for 9 years and I've had my clothing for 4 years. Like, you see this, but it was really this.
Yeah,
You
you
know
don't
what I
just
mean?
blink and get there.
You don't blink and get there, man. So it's just time and consistency and hard work and patience, you know?
Yeah, there's always going to be ups and lows. And like speaking of like, is there any like notable like kind of, I don't want to say low point, but like just a point where you like something was like happened that you didn't like in the brand, or like was there
Yeah,
ever
all
like
the
a low
time,
point,
dude.
like a
All the
big one
time.
that you could like?
Yeah, I mean, we had, learning how to do business and growing a business is not easy, right? So like when we started selling clothing, we didn't just do $0 or $100 a day or $100 a month. Like because we had built the audience, our first year in 2017, we did like $600,000, and then the next year we did 1 million, and then the next year was 1.3, and then it was 1.7, and then it was 2. Like growing that much and learning how to expand team, learning how to order inventory, learning how to spend on advertising. Made a lot of big money mistakes. And I've been in times where, there's times as an entrepreneur and times running a business where you're looking like this, you're making a ton of money, things are great, right? And then there's times where things aren't great. You got to fire people, you got to let people go, you can't pay yourself. Like there's always moments like that, right? Like everything is never going to be perfect. And I try to learn that. Like the same day, we got into Shields and I posted that Instagram post, literally the post of us going into Shields, the next post was the post that got violated on Instagram terms and conditions, and it's put us in like an Instagram jail for 2 weeks, right? So it's like you're going here, and it's like let me bring you back here. Okay,
Yeah,
I
that's
got it,
the
right? That's the constant up and down. So while things are great, sales are great, online's great, retail's great. Right now, Instagram's kind of like stressing me out, right? But like, there's always gonna be something, and I think to learn that, especially in life, like unfortunately, there's things aren't always great. Things are never always going to be great, but things are never always going to be bad. It's just got to be like this, and you just gotta kind of throw your hands up in the air and be like, all right, like I'm just gonna work hard and do my thing, and everything will fall into the right place.
exact. There's always gonna be bumps in the road. Just
Hmm.
some are bigger than others.
But honestly, like learning and failing and I know it's the corniest thing, but everybody says it. Like when you fail, you learn so much, and if you don't do that, you'll never know how to like get past that, right? Like we've had days and months that sales have been not great, right? Like there's been all that. But now I can look back at 2021. I could be like, oh, I remember when we sucked for 2 weeks, but then we had a great rebound. I remember in 2020 when COVID hit and nobody knew what happened. And I was like, uh-oh. And then we had our best year ever because everyone ordered online and blah, blah, blah. 2019, like I remember when things, right? So every year you kind of go, now when sales aren't good for a week, or now when January is our worst month of the year, I could look back and be like, January also sucked in 2021. January also sucked in 2020. January also sucked, So you start having data and you go, okay, like I've been here before. Cool, chill out, right?
Yeah, it's like
So
trends.
you
Studying the
learn
trend.
things. You learn things, but you learn mistakes. You don't repeat them, and you just try to move on from them and grow.
Yeah, especially in like a baseball for a baseball company, the off season is like something that's like obviously no one likes the off season. It's not the
Oh,
greatest time, but that's the time where you have to like the you can't just kind of talk about what's going on in games every day, and it's more of like creative stuff that you have to kind of curate from your own kind of thoughts and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, what's good about us is that we don't rely on. I don't honestly like. I don't rely on MLB playing baseball at all.
Right, because you
I
guys post everything
I don't.
you could
Yeah,
think
I
of.
don't post anything from MLB. We post things that are from the baseball lifestyle. If there was
Right.
no kids playing, if there was no kids that set up for Little League this year, we'd be in trouble. If there was no MLB season this year, we'd probably do really good because we're the entertainment for baseball, right? We're not the entertainment for MLB.
Exactly.
So our job is to grow the game of you wanting to go outside in your backyard and throw a ball around, right? Or go to the park and play with your buddies. Our stuff isn't trying to go to MLB and watch games or go to MLB and watch whatever. We don't care. Right? Again, when there was no baseball season in 2020, you were flourishing. Sales were going crazy because when kids miss the game, you bring them the game that they miss. Right? So that's kind of how I look at things.
Yeah, and you do it in quite the creative way with producing. You don't just basically like, I don't want to say steal content, but you don't just repost content that you see everywhere else. You have a team that does all the TikToks, which honestly, I think we're all big fans of. And you find ways to make different Instagram posts and thrive through reels and through all the social media in a unique way. And that's what
Absolutely.
I tend to enjoy about baseball lifestyle rather than just the game.
100%. It's very different than what normal people are going to be posting about on baseball and whatever is going on. Like, you could watch that stuff on ESPN, Sports Center, Bleacher Report. We're not here to do that. We're here to post about the game of baseball, not about the MLB stuff or what's going on.
Right, like you said, the sports centers and kind of all of them for MLB, but baseball lifestyle is more of a personal kind of thing where you could really get attached to the game rather than a team or a
community. Player. It's community and not highlights, right? Like,
right.
It's not a highlight. It's community.
Yeah, and that's really what makes it so lovable, because it's just other people that enjoy the sport that you play or that you enjoy, and you all kind of connect in that sense.
And that 100%. Community must be more tight knit rather than just a sports center that posts everything or an ESPN that posts everything. I mean, the community must be tight knit and enjoyable for everybody.
Very much so, 100%.
I mean, if we wanted to kind of go to like your baseball personally, just out of curiosity, I mean, I know your favorite team, obviously. Would you say
the Yanks?
Okay.
Thank God.
And then if you could give a favorite player besides Tristan.
Ooh, right now
or all time, doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, I grew up in the Jeter era, so that's not fair. So
that'll
Jeter was my favorite player. All right, Jeter was my favorite player growing up.
So then current
player
besides Tristan, because that's inobvious.
Is there bias there?
No, never.
Besides Tristan, I mean, I really enjoy. I love watching Juan Soto play. I think his swagger is like a ton of fun. So like a guy like Soto is a good guy, fun guy to watch.
Best hitter in the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's Barry Bonds level type hitter.
Yeah, 100%. He'll have that. Yeah. He'll have his season, hopefully this year.
There is nobody better in baseball than Juan Soto. Like, he is the best baseball player in the game.
Yeah,
100%. I mean, he put together great seasons back to back to back. I mean,
yeah, it's Soto. He's just a pure hitter and he's young and all that stuff. But, yeah, I mean, I used to love when he was on the Yankees. Didi Gregorius was my favorite Yankee. Like, I love watching Didi play. He was so clutch. So like Didi, like not anymore, but he definitely was my favorite player. If you were to ask me when he was on the Yankees, like that was my guy. I love Harper. I think he gets unnecessary hate. I think he's done a great job. There's a lot of different guys, but honestly, like I don't know. I'm gonna have a lot of guys that I root for very, very soon once they get called up, because I have a lot of friends that are like top prospects that are like I genuinely have good relationships with. That I'm like, you're my boy. Like, I'm rooting for you guys. So I'm excited for that,
Exactly. So it kind of comes like soon when these guys come up, it's going to kind of come out to be more of a rooting for play based on player rather than based on team kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, I know you guys are huge Yankee fans, and I'm definitely a big Yankee fan, but like with now being involved with baseball lifestyle, like if there's guys that like rep my brand and love BL, like I become fans of them, right? Like I love them because they're playing with us on, they're playing like with BL. So it depends, I've become more of a fan of the game and of the players than of the team because I have so many guys that I now talk to.
Exactly, and that's even us. Of course, we're Yankee fans at heart, but like I will root for whatever team I would feel like emotionally attached to, or like just based on like a neutral kind of standpoint. Like that's how I like looking at the game now. Of course, unless I'm at a Yankee game or watching a Yankee game, then
of course
that's just the human in me. The bias comes out.
Oh, listen, I remember. It was funny. I actually remember. So this is super funny. I remember when the Yankees were playing against the Indians in the playoffs a couple years ago, and Gio Urshela was their third baseman of the Indians.
Right.
And I remember like when I was a Yankee fan, cursing at him. Yeah, I hope you make an error, blah blah blah. And then like now he like follows BL and he has our gear, and I like Gio is one of my favorite guys ever. So like like that's the stuff that happens, right? Like I'm a Yankee fan, so I was yelling at Gio on the TV, not because I didn't. Obviously, just as a fan, right? Like I had nothing actually against Gio, but then he follows us, he loves us, and like now I love Gio. Not that I didn't like, you know what I mean? Like now I'm like, yo, like, wherever he goes, like he's my guy.
Yeah.
So that's just
course.
kind of what happens, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The fandom takes over sometimes, but like at the end of the day, it's still if they support you, why wouldn't you support them?
Got to put that business face on from time to time. Got to push the fandom to the side. If JD Martinez came knocking to your door, you'd answer.
Exactly. I wouldn't say no.
No, yeah, no. There would be no reason to say no to that.
Listen, like one of my closest guys that I was like hanging out with him before he got called up was Miles Straw, and he was on the Astros. And Miles is like, I have video of on my YouTube video vlog. If you go back to my vlog of spring training 2019, there's a video of me playing Fortnite with Miles. Like I was just like me and him are friends. He was on the Astros. Everybody hates Miles, right? Like, oh, like what did Miles do? Even though he wasn't even on that team, but like I love Miles, right? Like I've talked to Bregman before. Like I don't whatever, like I don't care. Like if these guys are good guys, like it is what it is. But I'm more fans of the players than I am fans of the teams. But obviously, like there's business Josh and there's Yankee fandom Josh, right? So there's a little bit difference. I'm good at kind of hiding the two.
Right.
So
yeah.
If we were to, let's just say the Yankees won the World Series and they're doing their parade through Times Square and everything, we'd see Yankee fan Josh before business Josh, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, unless I like know somebody and I get on that parade, that bus somehow, then you'll see a little bit of still a little mixed both. You know
little
what I mean?
both, yeah.
Like
Small lifestyle float.
Yeah, like I'm very close with not even a player, but a guy like Jared Carabas. Like me and Jared are very, very close. Like I was literally texting him today about like congrats on he's now with DraftKings and no longer with Barstool. He's a huge Red Sox guy, right? Like he messes around with the Yankees all the time.
Yeah.
Like as a guy, like he's just a good dude. So like it's all out of fun, and the same thing with the guys playing.
Yeah, he did ratio me on Twitter in the summer.
Oh.
I made the mistake of saying something to someone with that big of a following, especially being a Yankee fan.
He's a really good dude, though.
Oh no, yeah, no, he does. I was just sitting at my ticket job at the Ducks.
Yeah.
Had nothing better to do. I mean, unless. I think we went over pretty much everything, unless there's anything else that you want to talk about, Lewis.
Well, you did mention the Ducks. I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, they sold your merchandise for a little bit, right? You guys had your little partnership.
Yeah, we had some collab stuff in there and did some things with them with content, which is coming out soon. That was a lot, because it's like full like documentary style videos on them. So that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that was also cool. This local thing and, just being out there and doing some things with them. Baseball is baseball, man. So it was really cool to be out there.
Yeah. And of course, there's going to be Atlantic League baseball, but it just came in that there will not be any MLB baseball until April 14th.
Damn.
Sounds about right.
Yep. They just canceled it till
Sounds
then.
about right.
Oh. God, that sucks.
Luckily
terrible.
we'll have Baseball Lifestyle to keep us occupied here with the content.
That's exactly where you come in.
Yeah, thank God.
Yes, we'll be there.
Yeah. I mean, I think that'll do it. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. I appreciate you guys having me on. It's a ton of fun. And yeah, man,
Did he cut out for you too?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, we'll just.
Oh, wait,
yeah.
hang on. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
But yeah, no, thank you guys for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
You wanna shout out anything? I mean, you want to give us a sneak peek of anything coming up? I mean,
I got like our spring line hat coming out, some spring line stuff. That's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah, I see that hat in the back corner.
Yeah, I got.
But yeah, we got a bunch. We got some stuff coming. So I'm
Oh,
excited. Excited. Appreciate you guys again, man. You guys are the best.
Of course, of
yeah,
course.
wouldn't be possible without you. Of
Keep at it. Keep rolling, and just keep posting.
Thank you.
course.
Thank you. All right. Well,
Thank you, Josh.
this has been another episode of a normal baseball podcast. And we'll see you next time. Peace.